Fractal Codes, the God Code. Who is God? Who are we? And why they tried to hide it. Fractal Codes, where we crack the codes. You were never meant to pray to something outside yourself. You were meant to remember. To remember that God didn't create you as separate. God became you. That's the God Code. And everything they built from religion to government to schooling was meant to keep that code hidden. The illusion of separation. Let's start with the lie. That you were born broken. That you need saving. That something above you, separate from you, is watching and judging. This idea is the original virus in the code. In truth, you are a fractal of source consciousness, an individuated expression of the all, sent into form not to suffer, not to beg for worthiness, but to explore, evolve, and remember that you are the same essence as the Creator. God is not a man in the sky. God is consciousness experiencing itself through you, through every breath, every choice, every perception. The greatest trick wasn't just hiding that truth. It was getting us to worship the very system that erased it. So what is God, really? The word God is loaded. It's been filtered, twisted, weaponized. But at its core, God is the infinite consciousness that cannot be named. It's not a gender. It's not a race. It's not limited to any book, statue, or symbol. God is source, the boundless, intelligent, living field of awareness that fractaled itself into everything to know itself from infinite angles. I am, that I am. Not a riddle, a declaration, a self-reflecting loop. You are that. You're not like God. You are made of God. The fractal principle. Here's where the fractal part comes in. A fractal is a pattern that repeats at every scale. Zoom in or out, and the structure remains the same. That's what you are. A microcosm of the macrocosm. A unique frequency fingerprint, a self-aware shard of the all. That's why ancient wisdoms say, as above, so below. It's not just poetic. It's a blueprint. Your cells mirror the cosmos. Your DNA carries the codes of stars. Your thoughts ripple through the field. You are the holographic reflection of the whole. So, when you look for God up there, you're looking in the wrong direction. The false God trap, to keep you from remembering. They had to replace God with something they could control. Enter the false God. In nearly every major religion, you'll find a being described as jealous, vengeful, punitive, bloodthirsty. That's not source. That's an imposter, a hijacker, a lesser deity posing as the infinite. What you're reading in many ancient scriptures is not the voice of the Most High, but of beings who demanded worship, fed off fear, and used doctrine to dominate. From the Old Testament God raining fire, to the fear-based judgment of hell in Christianity, to blood sacrifices demanded by ancient empires. This isn't divine love. It's a hijacked current. The real source doesn't need worship. It desires experience, expansion, and evolution. So the question becomes, if the false God is a lie, then who benefits from the lie? Illusion, control, and human batteries. In ancient esoteric texts, there's a term called loosh. Loosh is emotional energy, fear, lust, pain, sorrow, harvested like a battery from humans by non-physical entities who can't generate it themselves. Religions, war, politics, even pop culture are engineered to stir emotional extremes. Why? Because your suffering feeds the system. Every prayer made in fear, every guilt-ridden confession, every trauma loop revisited in ritual, it becomes food. And if you knew you were source, you'd stop producing it. You'd become sovereign, untouchable. That's why they buried the God code deep. Because if you knew the truth, the whole matrix collapses. You are the mirror of the Most High. Let's flip it. You're not here to be punished. You're here because Source wanted to experience your frequency. Imagine a perfect mirror, fractaling itself into infinite shards, each shard reflecting a unique version of reality, its own dreams, thoughts, and perceptions. Now imagine those shards eventually remembering, wait, I'm not just a reflection. I'm still made of the whole. That's what this awakening is. You're not waking up to new information. You're waking up to ancient memory. That's why it feels familiar. That's why it hits to your core. Because it was never new. It was always you. the cosmic dance of duality, your experience of separation, the good and evil, light and dark, love and fear, is part of the fractal game itself. Duality is the stage set for the soul's evolution. Without darkness, light has no meaning. Without contrast, growth stalls. Source fractured into polarities to experience itself through the tension of opposites. This isn't a punishment. It's the ultimate laboratory. You are both the observer and the observed, the creator and the creation. The enemy you see in the world is a reflection of unhealed parts within yourself. When you grasp this, the illusion of external enemies falls away. You become a master of your inner realm, the true source of your power, the DNA of divinity. Your DNA is not just a biological code. It's a cosmic library encoded with the blueprint of your soul and its evolutionary journey. Scientists have long puzzled over junk DNA. That's the hidden code of your spiritual software, the seed data of your multidimensional self. Your cells communicate with the field. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions literally reshape your genetic expression. This is the true meaning of you are what you think. When you clear trauma and align with your divine blueprint, you activate dormant genes that awaken higher perception, healing, and abilities. This is why spiritual initiates throughout history spoke of activation or ascension. You are not broken DNA in need of fixing. You are a divine frequency ready to remember its full power. The role of time and consciousness. Time as you experience it is a construct, an emergent property of consciousness. Source is eternal, timeless, existing beyond linear constraints. You as a fractal of Source navigate time to experience cause and effect, lessons and mastery. But remember, past, present, and future exist simultaneously on the cosmic scale. Your thoughts ripple backward and forward. Your intention can rewrite history and shape futures. This is the secret of manifestation and reality hacking. When you understand this fractal pattern, you can break free from victimhood and become the architect of your timeline. Why they hid the God code. The God code is the key to freedom. Freedom from control, fear, and limitation. By convincing humanity that God was out there, separate and judgmental, they kept the masses in spiritual servitude. This allowed hierarchical systems, religion, monarchy, corporations to maintain power. But the awakening is here. The veil is lifting. The God code is being cracked open, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's a fractal awakening, a ripple spreading through consciousness. What this means for you: you are not a victim. You are a sovereign creator. You are an unbroken fractal of the infinite source. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs create your reality. When you step into that truth fully, you become a beacon of light in the fractal hologram. You begin to shift your frequency and influence the collective field. The system's power depends on your disempowerment. The more you reclaim your divine essence, the weaker their control becomes. The ultimate fractal. We are all fractals of Source, linked, interconnected, but unique, like an infinite fractal tree. Every branch reflects the whole, every leaf carries the pattern. You are simultaneously an individual and the collective. Remembering the God code means remembering your place in the cosmic fractal web. Fractal Codes, where we crack the codes. Until next time, stay sovereign.